So good morning everybody, Carlos here, recording on the lakeshore of Lake Ontario, where I'm visiting my running buddy, Alan. Alan came to visit us in Poyensa, so that wasn't more than maybe 3 months ago now. Yep, that was May. The month of May. The merry month of May. I recorded a little video introduction to today's episode at a very nice looking lookout point, a parquet as they call it. There's a little lagoon here with a pontoon bridge, a floating bridge across the middle of it. I believe it's been set up for anglers as I break into a walk. The buildings are quite spectacular here. Tall, thin skyscrapers. I guess the real estate here must be very expensive. They have to build upwards to get their rental units. Yep. So I'm now surrounded by water, walking on a pontoon, running on a pontoon bridge. I do have water with me today, which is a good thing, because it's going to be hot, 31 Celsius, and with the heat index it's going to feel like 38 Celsius. As I take a picture of a mallard, a female hen, a mallard duck with her chicks. This looks like set up for fishermen. Alright, back to the run. Yep, 38 centigrade is the feel-like factor. The humidity is very high, and which means that the sweat is not evaporating. Sorry about the noise. Can't do much about this bridge surface. Pretty soon I'll be on dirt once again. 3 kilometers in to my run today, as I take advantage of the shade here. It is only 7 a.m. and the plumber is coming today, probably around 8 a.m. to check out some drainage issues between Alan's apartment and his neighbor below. But that is not really my concern. I don't even believe it's his concern. It is the building, the strata committee of the building. It's their concern. I had to negotiate 3 people and 3 dogs. Morning. Hello. 8 minutes 39 per kilometer. As far as I can glean from the few interactions I have made with runners and walkers in Toronto is that the go-to language here is English, North American English. Whereas in Montreal, you would be equally as likely to be talking to a French Canadian speaker who might not understand very much English. In Montreal, maybe not. Maybe everybody you'll meet will have a working knowledge of English. But out in the province, you'd more than likely have to speak French to be understood. You'd certainly be answered in French. But like in every country, if you make the effort to speak their language, even if you make a pig's ear of it, they would rather that than using the old colonial British approach, which is if they don't understand your English, just shout louder in English. That doesn't work very well anywhere. I was interested to see that they have, like the hand sanitizer things that you see at the entrance of buildings and supermarkets. They have free sunscreen dispensers. I saw this guy yesterday with his dog. Well, I'm assuming it's his dog. They both seem quite happy with each other. Zone 3. So I'm here till Sunday morning when Alan drives me back to Pearson. It was interesting when he came to pick me up. I asked him what car he was driving so I could look out for it, but he said that he was coming on the train, as he wasn't sure whether my flight was going to be delayed or whatever. So with an open-ended arrival time, he didn't want to have to pay for long-term parking or even short-term parking. So he drove to Bloor station and took the train to Pearson, which was a smart move because my flight was delayed. Before we even left Victoria, there were some technical issues. They might have had a sticky valve or something that they had to replace. That took about 20 minutes. But the pilot pretty much made up the time on the transatlantic section of the flight. I think he took a shortcut. Mind you, it was a pretty bumpy flight, so maybe he flew below the weather, or he was trying to fly below the weather or above it. I'm not sure how that works, but it was very turbulent. And it always seems to happen just before they serve you the complimentary beverages. It might be something to do with they want the passengers all to return to their seats. So I suspect they probably jostle the joystick a little bit so that everybody goes back to their seats so that the stewardess can, or the flight attendants can serve the drinks without people in the middle of the walkway. Right. as Toronto wakes up. Hello. The sparrows look different here. I am about 7,000 kilometers from Victoria. Maybe not quite, maybe 5,000 from Victoria. I think the Trans-Canada Highway cuts across from Newfoundland to Victoria, and that is just over 7,000 kilometers. So I'm pretty sure there's 2,000 k between Toronto and Newfoundland. They're even in a different time zone. Granted, it's only half an hour different from Toronto, but there you go. There is half an hour difference from when the sun rises and sets in Newfoundland. I'm reading an interesting book about an old astrological clock that was built in the 16th century. It reminds me a little bit of the Red Violin, or whatever that book is called. The one about they track all the owners of the violin. Just seen a mink running across the rocks here. This is quite a nice lookout spot. I'm not sure if I caught the mink. I'm using the camera that doesn't click occasionally. Yeah, it's quite beautiful here. But as I say, there isn't the salty, briny smell that you get when you buy a large body of salt water. This is freshwater Lake Ontario. Across the water would be New York State, I believe. I stand to be corrected, as always. Zone 1. There's quite a few people out here looking to the east, enjoying the rays of sunlight. They're all meditating. They're not trying to run at a sub 9-minute pace. The breeze once again as they enter Zone 2. Almost 4K done. 8:38 per kilometer is my pace. Pretty soon I'll be passing where I got to yesterday. As I drop back into Zone 2. Just saw a heron. Yep. I'm going to take a photograph of where I turned yesterday. Sorry. Managed to get on the wrong side of a cyclist there. That's 41 is my pace at the moment. Excuse me. I will turn around here as well because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to meet my 600 calorie goal today, purely because today I'm running the route that I took yesterday as a hike. I will check my stats when I get up to the trail section and decide whether to push on further or to turn back. Let me just check my data. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm at 285 calories. I need to get just past 300, and then I'll turn back. And then I'll be ready for whatever the day has in store for us. We might have to alter our plans with the plumber coming today. Alan very generously gave me the big bed to sleep on. He's out in the living room on the couch. But he does have a nice fan, and he has the gallery screen, so he gets the breeze. I have a ceiling fan in the big bedroom. I'm sharing the bedroom with his collection of bikes. Oh, I remember this from a few years back. They were filming a movie, and they were using some old-looking building on the lakeshore. I seem to remember it was kind of Romanesque looking. There's also a swimming pool this way. Maybe I'll go swimming later on today. We'll see. We'll see what the day has in store for us. In store, I think the word is. Yeah, see what the day has in store for us. Now, these wooden planks, they look like those fake bridges. They don't look as if they're made from real wood. The reason I say that is because they're warped. I know wood warps, but they don't usually use warped wood for construction purposes. This path is made with wood fake wood that seems to follow the contours of the path beneath. Interesting. As I pick up the pace once again, this is a run after all. Italian speaking. As I was saying, most people speak English here, unless they're on their phone, and then they're probably speaking to a relative or family member. I'm going to take a picture of a sign here with my phone, just because then I will have access to the data on the internet to interpret.
E tuo fratello è venuto in Italia?
I'm having a little bit of trouble with the humidity here. My pulse, my what's it called now? My fingerprint sensing device to open my phone isn't detecting my fingerprint because of the sweaty nature of my skin. It's not making familial contact with the spot. I have data that will recognize my fingerprint, but only if it can see it. Obviously, if my finger is full of sweat, it's not going to be able to detect the grooves and the raised sections of my thumbprint. Anyway, I have just checked my camera, my phone, and I have reached past the 300 mark, so I can, by rights, turn back now, but I have been falling a little bit short on my calorie count this week because of the travel day. I know Sunday was last week, which was good because I had met my goal last week. Sunday, obviously, I didn't. I don't think I even made 100 calories as I turned back the way I came. I think all in all, with all the airport walking that I had to do, I managed to run or walk 2 kilometers total. And I covered 5,000 kilometers, mostly by air. As I take a photograph of a couple of scullers. On the plane, I watched a movie called The Boys in the Boat, which is about the, what would it be, the 1938 Summer Olympics from Germany, the Hitler Olympics, the Olympics where Jesse Owens won the 100-meter and the 200-meter and various other running events. Well, anyway, that was the year that an unknown 8 from Washington State University won the gold medal for the 8s and went on to... No, they won the gold medal, that's right. But the film is the build-up, the training, and the preliminary races that led them to win the Olympic gold medal for 8s. When I get back to the big bridge that I crossed earlier, I'm going to check my stats once again because I want to know how much of my audio I have already captured. 22 minutes as it happens, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to cut this off quite short, quite soon, because I think less than half an hour is probably enough yammer for today. So as I approach the Humber River, once again, I will say bye-bye to my thousands of fans across the world, with a special mention to my Punjabi audience in India. I should have rehearsed how to say thank you in Punjabi. Next time I'll do that. So this is the Running Jackal, thanking everybody for listening to me talk and run. And I'll be back to you on Saturday, the day before I leave, with a synopsis of my visit to visit Al. Bye-bye.